Good evening. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Dr. Thomason, roll call.
President Reese, members of the board, please let the record show that we have all 5 board members here tonight for a full meeting.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, we're going to go on to approval of the agenda. I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments regarding the agenda? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Glover kindly reminded me to skip a step. We're going to go ahead and have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll go ahead and go on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Thomason.
President Reese, members of the board, we do have a full house tonight with lots of awards and recognitions to start with. So at this time, I'm going to invite Michelle Reese to the front of the boardroom to start those awards and recognitions. Michelle.
Good evening, everybody. President Reese, members of the board, cabinet, superintendency, and everybody who's joining us this evening. Thank you so much for being here. We have a lot of fun awards to present this evening, and I'd like to first invite Ms. Sherry Richards to come up and talk about our recent Fine Arts Festival.
We had the most amazing festival. Probably a lot of people in this room were able to attend. It wouldn't have been possible with all the parents, teachers, and student support. So you're going to see a lot of highlights from that event tonight, and I can't be prouder of how it turned out, and the weather was incredible as well. All right, we want to recognize the committee that worked so hard to put together this Fine Arts Festival. First, I need Andrea Zaboba. Okay. Next, can we have Ashley Mesher come up? Barb Gomez. Bob Zucker. Emily Perez. That's you. Jennifer Huddle. Jonathan Williard. All right. Karen Hearn. Katie Atkins. Peggy Sturman. Rebecca Lloyd. Tom Murphy. I couldn't even add up the hours these individuals put into not only the day of the festival, but meetings ahead of time, getting student volunteers, collecting artwork, preparing the slideshow. So let's give them another round of applause. Stephanie, oh my word. Well, this young lady, we saved her for last. She worked tirelessly to get all the vendors and all the artists there, and I can't even imagine this without her and this whole team. So thank you, Stephanie.
Part of our wonderful arts festival is a fantastic art show, and I hope you all get a chance to see some of the artwork. We have it already on display here in the boardroom, so I'd like to invite Emily Perez to come introduce our young artists.
Okay. Madam President, board members, Superintendent Thomason, and Higley families, I have the honor of recognizing the winners of the 2018 Higley Visual Arts Show. This event took place on April 14th, 2018 at the Higley Center for Performing Arts, with hundreds of families present to enjoy the Higley Arts Festival. At this time, I would like to ask all of our art show blue ribbon winners and their teachers to come and stand up here at the front. Everyone. As you're recognized, we'll have you step forward. So we're going to start with elementary. From Bridges Elementary, Erin Kelsey. Also from Bridges Elementary, Rayanne Butterfield. From Centennial Elementary, Gabriela Medina. Also from Centennial, Emma Frank. From Chaparral, Riley Allen. Also from Chaparral, Jagger Thompson. From Coronado, Tessa Chadwick. Also from Coronado, Presley Nash. From Cortina, Amelia Stegman. Also from Cortina, Emily Johnston. From Gateway Pointe, Broden Schultz. Also from Gateway Pointe, Eva Gonzalez. From Higley Traditional Academy, Jackson McCutcheon. Also from Higley Traditional Academy, Logan Meckelberg. From Power Ranch Elementary, Caden Strand. Also from Power Ranch, Shayna Foe. From Santan Elementary, Camille Bailey. Also from Santan, Grier McNabb. From Cooley Middle School, Lucian Lombard. Also from Cooley Middle School, Catherine Schultz. From Sossaman Middle School, Cassandra Campos. Also from Sossaman Middle School, Caitlin Fischetta. From our high school groups, we divide them up into 3 categories: 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, and photography. From our 2-dimensional category, from Higley High School, Gina Padilla. From Williamsfield High School, Jennifer Arizmendez. For our 3-dimensional category, from Higley High School, Kylie Foster. From Williamsfield High School, Rose Telia. And for our photography category, from Higley High School, Allison Chimbakis. And from Williamsfield High School, Alyssa Icky. Congratulations to all of our award winners this year.
Our governing board meetings allow us an opportunity to recognize some special members of our campuses. Tonight, I'd like to bring up Kelly Papke from Cortina Elementary School to recognize her school's points of pride.
All right, good evening. I was not expecting to have to present in front of this many people, but okay, so we have some special people to recognize from Cortina. We were able to select a certified teacher, a classified employee, a volunteer, and a student. And each of these people brings something special and unique that makes Cortina one of the best places for children to come and learn every day. So I'd like to start with Miss Christine Villa. Is she here? All right, as she walks up here, I just want to say a few words about Christine. She is currently working as a gifted specialist at our school. She was previously a 5th grade teacher, and I cannot say enough kind words about her. She has been a lifesaver for me. She also has her administrative credentials and has taken on many roles as she's been at Cortina, but she truly is an exemplar on our campus. Not only is she a dynamic educator who knows how to effectively reach students, she's a valued leader. Any task that she's ever given is done in an organized and efficient manner. She willingly steps up, taking initiative to help out in any way she can. And her professionalism and positive contributions are so appreciated and will be missed as she moves on to new adventures. She's moving to Oregon, and we are super sad, but thank you, Christine, for all that you've done to make Cortina a better place. She loves being the center of attention. Okay, our next person is Hannah Silverstein. So Miss Hannah is a paraprofessional at Cortina. She works with our special ed resource teachers and many of our special education students. She is one of those people who will reach out to help and understand the needs of all of the students, and she wants to know why, and she wants to know like what's behind things and all of that. So she is a person who's super reflective. She seeks feedback, always wanting to learn, always wanting to grow and improve, and she never has an idle moment. She's always going around like, what can I do? What can I do to help you? What can I do to help you? And that's something that we really appreciate. And Hannah is a couple of other things to describe her. She's enthusiastic, she's super inquisitive, and she's a wonderful team player. She's been a delightful addition to our staff, and we want to thank you for that. All right. Our volunteer is Miss Pam Morrison. Hi, Pam. Pam has been a volunteer in the Cortina Library this past year. She has put a lot of time. She comes in on her spare time. She has extensive knowledge in teaching, and she's always willing to share this knowledge and experience with Mrs. McKeon and Miss Johnson, who work in our media center. Among other things, she helps to shelve books. She checks books in, checks books out, sets up book displays, and if you've been to Cortina, we have a really beautiful library. She reads to the students. She works a lot of different volunteer shifts during book fairs. She assists students with their technology projects. She's extremely intuitive and helps wherever she sees a need. This is invaluable in our very fast-paced technology library classes. And in addition, she volunteers her time the entire day whenever our media center aide is not able to be present. So we are very lucky to have someone like Pam come in and help us at Cortina. So thank you, Pam. All right, and last but certainly not least is our student, Mr. Gunnar Figrell. Come on up. This is Gunnar. You see Gunnar's smile? That's the smile that we get to see every day at Cortina. Gunnar is an exceptionally well-rounded, respectful boy. He's someone who others look up to. He is self-motivated and demonstrates superior work in math, science, and reading. Gunnar isn't one to shy away from trying new things. When presented with a new project or a challenge, he tackles it eagerly with a positive attitude and that top-notch smile. On campus, he participates in NEHS and Tiger Ambassadors, and he's also involved in numerous sports and activities outside of school. He puts forth his best effort, demonstrating perseverance in everything that he does. Another trait that his teachers and friends appreciate is his great sense of humor. He interacts well with his peers, and above all, he's a great friend. His kindness and care toward others is something that helps spread positivity around our campus. We are so proud of Gunnar and can't wait to see all of the amazing things that he will accomplish in life. Congratulations, Gunnar. Okay, and we would like the families of all of these wonderful people, if you could stand up and introduce them. Who's here tonight?
My sister Jada, my other sister McKenna, my mom, and my dad.
Come on, for girls, give us a wave.
Oh, I'm sorry. My grandson, Nathan, who is why I volunteer, and my husband, my daughter, and Cindy McEwen, who I love to work with in the library.
My daughter Jada is back there somewhere. She's not standing though. And all my Cortina family is here too. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Cortina Tigers. Now I would like to invite Centennial Elementary School up to introduce their points of pride.
What's that? Yeah, it would be great. Good evening, President Reese and Governing Board, Dr. Thomason, and members of the Cabinet. Thank you very much. Wow, a lot of people. So just want to say thank you very much for being here, because this is a very important night for a lot of us for a lot of different reasons, but I'm just really honored that we get to celebrate the amazing staff and members of Centennial. It truly is just an amazing place to work with all the people that are there. So this wasn't the order I wanted to go in, but we'll go ahead and do it. So, all right. So our first nominee or recipient of Point of Pride is Miss Erica Pfaff. I know. I look up to her. But in all honesty, it's one of those things when you surround yourself with people that you trust and respect, they always just kind of make you feel better, even like in the most vulnerable kind of spots. So thanks for being up here with me. So let me highlight some of the amazing things that Ms. Pfaff contributes to our school. Not only is she a fourth grade math teacher, she contributes her time to Girls on the Run. She's a peer mediator sponsor, and she's also a mentor for student teachers. And her success rate with student teachers is phenomenal. They go on to receive jobs, work in great districts, and have flourishing careers, and that's all attributed to your mentorship and the things that you provide and guide them. Ms. Pfaff is one of the hardest working teachers I've ever met. The time and effort that she dedicates to her profession and students is truly remarkable. She motivates students and inspires those around her to be better. Oftentimes I'll kind of walk the halls and just kind of make sure that people are going home, and I can't tell you how many times I pop into your room and say, can you please go home and take some time for yourself? But to be honest, if we didn't have her, I don't know where we would be without her. So thank you very much. I remember. Thank you. You're welcome. She said, if you ever have to buy me flowers, which was an interesting conversation, and then she said, just buy me succulents. So there you go. Awesome. You're welcome. Okay. Our next person, there he is, Mr. Bobby Gonzalez. This guy literally is my right-hand man. I'll approach Bobby on a day-to-day basis, and he just looks at me, he's like, don't worry, I already got it. So it's just amazing. Bobby, we cannot thank you enough for all the amazing things that you do. Deep down inside, you're just one of the most genuine people I've ever met. You're a caring team player. You're a problem solver, a money saver, extremely proactive, a jack of all trades. You're amazing with our students, the way he interacts with them just on campus. Everybody knows who Mr. Bobby is. And anytime there's a code rainbow, everybody knows that he can come and clean that up. He's always in a great positive mood, and he just really makes everybody's day so much brighter, because when he's there, we feel safe, we know our school is taken care of, problems are fixed, and it's amazing to have the people that we have on our team that we can rely upon and just get through any kind of day that we have. So thank you very much, Bobby. Okay. I'd like to recognize Mrs. Stevie Cope. Centennial's got pride. I love it. So Stevie does, I think she's, I don't know if you can consider her a volunteer because I guarantee she's on one of our payrolls because she's there every day. So I'm not too sure. But she has 3 kids at our school alone. Amazing kids, just a wonderful family to have a part of our school, and just, kind of just spread that kind of enthusiasm and joy for learning. And you're just always here to brighten up everybody's day. I'd like to go ahead and read a card that was written by one of our teachers, just kind of demonstrate exactly what Stevie does for us. Stevie is an amazing parent at our school. She is always willing to volunteer in our classrooms and make it a point to get to know the kids as well, so much, that when students see her on campus, they will go out of their way to say hi and go up to her. She always volunteers to teach art masterpiece, and the kids love when she comes in. Stevie has a knack for knowing when there is a need and just filling it. She jumped in to decorate a few of our pods. Our classrooms are set up in these kind of sections, and we do it for Boosterthon. Not only did she take care of her children's grade levels, but everybody else's. She is also a very good to other families and always willing to help out and supply goods if anyone is without. She has a wonderful demeanor and is so easy to talk to. She is positive and upbeat, and we can't thank her enough for everything that she brings to Centennial. We would love to recognize Miss Summer Bernasconi. Summer's, I think, did you apply for college this year or no? She'd be ready. When you think of the future, when you think of those people who you want to lead us, when you think of those people who we need a little bit more compassion in our life, a little bit more understanding, a little bit more forgiveness and kindness. That's your girl right there. It's pretty amazing. So, enough about you. I'm just kidding. Young ambassadors, peer mediator, and Stuco president. Quite a resume already. She's also involved in Heart and Soul, which is kind of a running club that we have that drives self-value and compassion and being a leader, and I couldn't think of anybody that is more perfect for that. She is never without a smile. She is always actively involved, whether it's helping out in class or with others. She's always putting her best effort towards everything in school and our community. And I had a chance to talk, Summer and I talk a lot. I think I could just go to her for some advice every once in a while. And then we were just talking, and I said, what are the things that you love about our school? And the first thing that she says was our teachers. And I said, really? And she said, yes. And she goes, and I love our community. And I just said, this is exactly what we want. We want people who care about those things and who focus on those things and take the time to go out of their way to make not only themselves better, but everybody else around them. And so I can't thank you enough. And just in the future, are you going to have a food truck, or just Summer wants to be a baker. I told her I'd be a frequent customer. So thank you very much.
Would you like to introduce your families, please?
My dad's right there, my mom's right there, and then my brother's hiding. Yeah, he's right there.
I have my husband Curtis, my 13-year-old Charlie, my 12-year-old Ben, Hank, Sam, and Rose, and my mom Darcy.
My wife Janice and my son Caden.
My sister Raylyn is here in red, and I was told to specifically mention by name. I have my team, Jen Ignacio, Jen Harris, Amanda Hamill. I was told that I had to do this. Danielle, I've got Amanda, Colleen, Allie. If I didn't say your name, Corey, Sid, Marin, Jen, Michelle, I was told that I had to say everybody's name. Emily, Susan, I'm trying. This is really stressful when you all look the same. Hazel, Abby, Alyssa, you're all in red. Melanie, Hannah.
And the honors continue. I'd like to invite Williamsfield High School Principal Steve Tannenbaum to introduce a very special group of student athletes tonight.
Madam President, there it is. There it is. Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Thomason, cabinet, and community, I have the honor to introduce Miss Lori Larson, who is our coach of our unified basketball team, and she has the opportunity to have our players come on up, talk a little bit about their outstanding season, and a little bit about who they are and what role they had in our campus this year with their success. Come on up, please.
Come on up here. Come on over. Well, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our outstanding basketball crew here. We have Jacob Murphy. Brody Lalo. Ryan Moran. Caleb Hotshot McCullough. Jackson Vaught. And Vinny Malone. Outstanding group of kiddos. They have not lost a basketball game yet. If you get a chance to come watch them, the synergy and the electricity between these guys is incredible. You will leave just in awe. I mean, the skills and the fun they have on the court is amazing, and one of the most rewarding things I've ever seen. So, great job, you guys.
I think of my teachers as family also. I like to thank Miss Fife and Mr. Fife for coming out. I like to thank Miss Daniels for coming out. I like to thank every teacher here also, because especially everyone wearing red here. I know I'm not wearing red. I just left my red shirt at home. Because I know almost every teacher here wearing red, and every teacher here is probably was fighting for student funding also. And I thank you guys, all of you, for that.
I want to start off by saying thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Fife for all they've done for the unified team this year. I mean, what could you expect more than a great teacher and a great team of unified kids going out, bowing out for the best of the stuff, am I right? I especially want to thank Ms. Larson for all that she done for me during this year. It was a great year. So thank you.
I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Fife and I'd like to thank Miss Daniels for not giving me, for being the only teacher that gives me homework. Without that, I would probably not have enough time to do this.
Yeah, I got basketball team. I got a ton of articulation. I fell to the Phil Hospital over the time of the year.
Yeah, I want to personally thank all the teachers here today. I specifically want to thank Ms. Larson for the great job she's done. I want to thank all of our administration and everyone for Unified Sports. Mr. and Mrs. Fife, thank you. And of course, the district as well. It's been a great experience. I don't know what I'd do without it. Thank you.
I would like to thank Ms. Larson for letting me and Jackson play basketball, first of all, and thank you for all coming out here tonight.
Good job.
And this is the Arizona State champion unified basketball team. We have one more set of student athletes to recognize. Can I please ask Cooley Middle School Principal Sean Varner to come to the front?
Good evening, President Reese, members of the board, Dr. Thomason, cabinet. I would like to introduce the 7th grade girls East Valley Conference champions from Cooley Middle School. Come on down, coaches and players. So before I turn it over to Coach Zach Marquis and Brandon Montoya, just a real quick word about this team. As you can see, it was a very small team. We only had 8 girls on the team this year. So the one rule on their way to a championship is that they could not foul out of the game, because we didn't have many to replace them. This is a very special championship for Cooley, as this was the first East Valley Conference championship in athletics for Cooley Middle School. We've had many state champions in band and color guard, but again, this is our first EVC championship for any athletics, boys or girls, so we're very proud of them. Congratulations. Coach Montoya, Coach Markey.
Check, check. All right. So as you see, we had a small team, no cuts. We are missing one. She only shows up on game days. So at the end, we have Ashley. Lauren. Lindsay. Grace. Maddie. Cece. And Camille.
I'm here with my mom.
I'm here with my parents.
I'm here with my dad.
I'm here with my dad.
I'm here with Grace. I'm here with my mom and dad.
And I'm here with my dad.
Before we end our awards, we want to recognize one more person, and that's Mrs. Darlene Reach. She's our board secretary, and she keeps tabs on all 5 of us, plus Dr. Thomason and a whole lot of other people. Today is Administrative Professionals Day, and we want her to know how much we appreciate her. So we wanted to recognize her tonight as well. And Dr. Thomason, upcoming events?
President Reese, members of the board, we do have some upcoming events. On Wednesday, May 16, we will have our awards and board business meeting at the district office, followed by Thursday, May 24th, would be the Higley High School graduation at Wells Fargo Arena at 9:30, and then the Williamsfield High School graduation at Wells Fargo Arena at 2:30. Also, President Reese, members of the board, I am hoping to be done with the board meeting tonight by 8 o'clock so we can go see Higley High School's choir team have their kickoff concert before they go to Carnegie Hall.
Thank you. All right, we'll go on to board comments. Mr. Glover?
You were going to let me go first? Thank you, Madam President. So my poor board colleagues sometimes never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Never profane, but anyway, I just was thinking on the way over that, during times of crisis, people look to leadership. I never imagined when I ran for the board this red awakening. I fantasized about it, but so I just scribbled some thoughts, and I just really wanted to share them with you. I just wanted to encourage our teachers just to stay strong and stay united. Trying times can either tear you apart or bring you closer together, so I would hope that we would make every effort to choose to be closer to one another during all of this. I don't know anybody who wants this. We all got into this profession to make a difference, to change a child's life, and that's what we're trying to do against more and more obstacles that have been placed in front of us. And if you didn't know, I am a teacher. I'm married to a teacher, so that is my bias as I talk here. It's uncomfortable. This is unfamiliar. It can be exhausting for everybody. It's inconvenient. My wife texted me this afternoon that she teared up as she was saying goodbye to her kids today. So I just want to remind everybody of the story of America and sort of the mythology that we all believe that anyone can make a difference in this country, and that ordinary people joining together can change the world. And it started with the revolution, the civil rights movement, women's suffrage. All of those were struggles that started small and then turned into something much bigger and helped change the system. So just remember what you're fighting for. It's for our students and better opportunities for them. We want better opportunities for our classified colleagues, from our bus drivers and building managers and paras and administrative assistants, those people who give so much and ask so little. We want less crowded classrooms that are modern, with materials needed to inspire our kids to create, collaborate, excel, and innovate in the school and in life to become productive members of society. So all of this, let's make sure we make it worth it. And just to those who are trying to make this a partisan issue, I would just say that it's not. The opportunity for a quality-free public education is promised in the Arizona Constitution, and it's really part of the American social contract. So anybody who embraces that idea and that helps adequately fund and support it will be embraced by educators, and I hope that they understand that. This is your livelihood, it's your calling, it's my calling. True public ed and an educated populace, I think, is in everybody's best interest. It's good for property values, and I firmly believe that it leads to greater prosperity for everybody. So I just want to thank the Higley teachers, the parents, the administrators, especially Dr. Thomason, the board and the support staff, and our students for standing with us as we stand up for one another. So tomorrow, make the most of it.
All right, now I've got to follow that. Yikes. Everything he said. For my board comments, because we do have a wonderful district, I've had the opportunity I attended the Cooley Middle School NJHS induction. We hosted a breakfast for our seniors from Williamsfield and Higley for the kids that are 4.0 and above. That was almost 150 kids. Yeah. 150 seniors that have a 4.0 or greater. That was pretty amazing. I got to attend the Hispanic Heritage Night, the first one ever at Santan, and it was amazing and very well supported. And then Higley High School had their underclassmen awards, and there were, again, a ton of awards and so many kids that are so bright and excel and work really hard. And so that was, it was very nice to attend that. So that's what I've been doing.
President Reese. Yeah, at the end of the year, there are so many events that we are invited to as a board, and we can't possibly make them all. So we do try to kind of divide and conquer. We love it when you invite us personally. I have your attention, so if you send an email to us directly, we really try to come to whatever we can attend. I, along with President Reese, attended many of the same events. I just wanted to highlight that our Winter Guard and our drum line, our Higley district of 12,000 students had more entries than any other district in our entire state. That's huge.
We had close to 20% of everyone participating from the Higley district, so.
Big deal there. Also, I got to attend a lightning group. Oh, there he is, Mr. Sipple, and we had Representative Michelle Udall here talking about math in our 8th grade, and we're doing a phenomenal job in 8th grade, but we can always do better. But Higley is really taking the lead on that in math, and I thank you for all the leadership and all the math teachers that are making that happen. Also went to some dance competition, or dance for Williamsfield. You went there. And I know there's lots more coming up, and so forgive us if we don't make it to everything, but we're trying really hard. And I just want to thank you so much for coming tonight, seeing the sea of red. It absolutely, I'm speechless when I look out, and I wish you'd all come every time. But I get it. And kudos to Mr. Glover tonight for a beautiful speech. I echo everything you said, and I appreciate your words tonight very much.
To what President Reese has said and what Mr. Glover said, and I just want to tell all of you that I will be at the Capitol tomorrow with my family with you.
This may seem insignificant compared to everything else, but on Monday night, I took my daughter to the instrument petting zoo at Higley Traditional Academy, and it was just such a little thing, but to see the students encouraging my daughter and the other 4th and 5th graders to participate, it just means a lot, and it's those small things that really makes a difference and creates our community. So thank you for those who put it on. And as far as, just to echo what Mr. Glover said, there's just so much discussion now about what's the next step. And I think it's a very tough decision for the teachers to make, but it's causing everyone to talk about it in a conversation. So keep up the good work and stay strong.
Thank you. I would also like to recognize Mr. Scott Anderson in attendance with us from Gilbert Town Council. Thank you. I know you come whenever you can, and we appreciate it. So thank you. All right. We'll go on to the request to speak to the governing board. We value input from our constituents. This time has been set aside for anyone from the audience who wishes to address the board. Please remember, this is not an appropriate venue to evaluate, discuss, or criticize district personnel. Policy KEB provides a process for complaints about personnel. Speakers should be aware that false statements about individuals may result in civil liability. Members of the board may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to ARS 38-431.01H,
Action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to any criticism, or scheduling the matter for further consideration and a decision at a later date. We do ask that you keep your remarks to 3 minutes. The first one I would like to invite up is Penny and Izzy Montez.
It's only me right now because my daughter had to go to Williamsfield for the National Honors induction. So, thank you. Governing Board and Superintendent Dr. Thomason. My name is Penny Montez. I am a homeowner and community member in the Higley Unified School District. I have a sophomore that attends Williamsfield High School, and I'm currently a kindergarten teacher at Chaparral Elementary. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. A little over a month ago, a grassroots movement started for education funding, or the lack thereof, began, and little did anyone know the effect that it would have on our state and our profession. This movement is an opportunity to put students first. I have been able to transcend the passion I bring to my career and the love for teaching students by spreading awareness to the difficult challenges that districts and teachers face. I wanted to speak tonight to share my gratitude and appreciation for the leaders in our district. Sorry. Oh, I lost my place. Oh, sorry. The support from my administration, Mrs. Hanson and Mr. Pepper, from the superintendent, Dr. Thomason, and the governing board members. You know that you are in a student-centered district when a governing board member is standing next to you on a street curb on Fry, holding their own Red for Ed sign. Nice to see you again, Mr. Glover. I am inspired and humbled and proud that my district stands beside me in a tough plight, that all students deserve a quality education. Thank you again for your continued support. Together we are united. Together we are Higley strong. If you don't mind, I'd like to read my daughter's speech. She left it with me. I won't do it as well as she did, because she wrote it, but I figure she took the time to write it. I think it should be said. Hi, my name is Isabella Montes. I currently attend Williamsfield High School as a 10th grader. I have been a Higley student since the very beginning, what she means is preschool. What I love about Higley is the open and caring teachers. They work above and beyond to be as accessible and as helpful as they can. Looking back, all my past teachers shaped me into the person I am today. My teachers weren't just teaching the general subjects. They were also teaching life lessons, good character, and overall setting great role models. The Red for Ed movement is an important historical event in my lifetime because I think of how much greater my experiences could have been or could be. I appreciate the governing board and Superintendent Dr. Thomason for the support they are showing in this unprecedented movement for the betterment of not just mine, but of all students' education across the state of Arizona. Thank you for your time. I am proud to be a lifelong Higley supporter.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Joe Gusick. Mr. Gusick.
Madam President, fellow board members, Superintendent Thomason, all Higley staff, parents, taxpayers, and last but not least, students. My name is Joe Gusick. I'm the lovable, slightly annoying American. I'm the Education Lorax. As you can see, I'm not wearing red. I wear orange. I've been doing this for the past 4 years, and I will never stop. As you were all speaking, and I saw the people on baseline all out there supporting you. I thought of a song by the Stones, "You Can't Always Get What You Want." But I went down to demonstration to get your fair share of abuse. Singing, we're going to vent our frustration. If we don't, we're going to blow a 50-amp fuse. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you'll find what you need. I'm always going to be committed to that. I sent the Speaker of the House, the Senate President, and Governor Ducey 4 emails yesterday. And the very last one I sent to them was an email that Dr. Thomason was BCC'd on. In 99 days from yesterday, but 98 days from now, that's August 1st, Wednesday, August 1st, and that's Education First Day. It's happened the past 2 years. You probably haven't heard about much of it. I let our elected officials know the very first time. And the second time, I didn't remind them, just like a good teacher would, to see if they learned a lesson. They didn't. So this year, I'm going to go around, and for the next 90-some-odd days, I'm going to remind them that that is the day that we celebrate the beginning of a new year, when 85,000 plus children will come to our kindergartens for their very first time and begin a 13-year journey. Now there's an end to that story, and this is why I came to you tonight. When you have your graduations this year, remind everybody that education comes first. The thing that I ask you to do as a suggestion, you don't have to follow me, but when it comes time, ask the children to stand up. Ask them to applaud everybody in the stands. Because education is a community effort. Always has, always will. And when we forget that, this is what we get. We get a strike. As a former UPS management person and a person who studied labor economics and spent hours in the Marriott Library reading about all this stuff from the 1880s to now, here's the common theme: the breakdown of trust, and then everybody focusing on their self-interest. I truly support each and every single one of you. I ask you to do what you have to do, because at the end of the day, when it all ends, believe me, I'm not going away. And I will make sure that you get what exactly you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gusick. And then I have Miss June Blaine.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Thomason, cabinet members, all of you wonderful people here. This is a scary time. It really is. And we are on uncharted waters. But knowing that you support us and that the district as a whole supports us, there aren't words. And multiple times today, thinking about this, I broke down. So all I have to say is thank you. From the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of these people's hearts, thank you, all of you.
Thank you. All right. We don't have any other requests to speak, so we're going to go ahead and go on to our agenda items.
President Reese, members of the board. I would like to also go over our schools that received an A for this year. There was a recalculation, and we have some schools we wanted to add. And I wanted to recognize those teachers and those administrators that worked extremely hard to earn an A for our school district for the 16-17 school year. So with the recalculation of the Arizona Department of Education letter grades, we have, in alphabetical order, Bridges Elementary, Chaparral, Cooley Elementary, Cortina Elementary, Gateway Pointe Elementary, and Santan Elementary. So with the recalculation, we do add more schools to Arizona Department of Education's A-listed schools.
Thank you. That's awesome. All right, we will go on to the approval of the consent agenda. I move that we approve consent agenda items 6.2 through 6.13 as presented. Any questions or comments regarding consent agenda?
President Reese.
Mrs. Kaler?
Dr. Thomason, could you just please explain maybe a little bit of the new position, the ED Program Coordinator 6.12, please?
Yes, President Reese, members of the board. Currently within our district, we have an outside agency providing services within our school. That's a school within a school model for some of our students with the most severe needs. At this point, Desert Choices is providing those services. We would like to start bringing some of those funds in-house to save the district some money and provide services within our school district for those students within our schools. And so at this time, we're looking at a cost savings of approximately $30,000 the first year, and as the program moves forward, grow up to about $100,000 worth of savings as the program identifies more students and we end up having more students in the program. And so it would be a cost savings in the long run, but that would be an ED self-contained EDP, which is Emotionally Disabilities Private Placement Program within our own school system for our middle schools and our elementary schools. And then at this time, we're starting with one class. Hopefully that grows to more classes and we're able to provide all those services in the future within our school district without having to pay an outside agency to provide those services.
So just to clarify, we've been already paying for this type of position already, and we're just bringing it in-house.
That would be correct.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Madam President, Ms. Kaler, did you have any questions on 6.13?
And also our 6.13, it's not really a new position because we have this position already as well, just to kind of clarify for the public.
That is correct. Madam President, members of the board, Vice President Kaler, we do already have this position. The difference would be is that we are very proud of our employees, and this administrative position got the certification, and so we want to recognize her with just a different title change, and so it would be an Assistant Director of Preschool Programming. There would be no significant cost increase, but just a recognition of the title and the position.
Thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
President Reese. Thank you, members of the board. With that passage, we do have a rock star administration team that I'd like to recognize. So at Cortina Middle School, I'd like to recognize Principal Kelly Papke and Assistant Principal Don Michelson. We have a rock star team at Cortina now that'll be here for many years to come.
Thank you. Congratulations. All right, we will go on to action and information items. 8.1 is our monthly governing financial report for March of 2018. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Holland? All right, then we will go on to, and thank you for putting that together. You put it together for us every month. We appreciate that. And then we'll go on to 8.2, the submission of proposed issues for consideration to the ASBA Legislative Committee. I move that we review the ASBA 2018 political agenda and come up with 5 items to send to them.
Second.
All right. Anyone want to start?
I can tell you some of the things that I'm not interested in. Does that help?
Okay.
Reading allow districts the option to operate individual schools for a 200 school day. I don't think that is a something our public, our community, or our teachers are the least bit interested in my opinion.
Well, I think it's one of, what I would suggest that we send as one of the 5 is obviously provide additional state funding for nationally competitive salaries to attract, recruit, and retain talented teachers.
No, I would add, sorry, did I just jump in front of you? Restore district additional assistance, but that hopefully that's coming.
I agree with you, Mr. Glover. And President Reese?
Yeah, and it's not on here, Madam President, but I've been thinking that I was looking at some school districts around and what various districts, how much they pay for the employee's portion of health insurance, and wouldn't it be an amazing idea if every educator or school employee was in a pool for government state health insurance, and that's not really on here, but we all are paying a lot, and all separate, separate to each school district, and but it's not on there, so I probably won't muddy it up, but that would be a good one.
We can add that as an additional item for consideration.
One I had a question about, Mr. Holland might be able to weigh in. On page 2, it says establish financial and academic transparency for all institutions that accept public funds. I just wanted to get Mr. Holland's opinion on that. I mean, what we do currently, I feel like provides transparency, but just get your opinion if you think that is a good initiative to push forward to encourage for all institutions. Do you have an opinion either way, Mr. Holland?
President Reese, members of the board. I'm always advocate for transparency. There's always questions as to exactly what funds come in, what funds are available, how are they being spent. So to me, I always feel that the more transparent or open that you can be, the less questions or you may get, or the less concern. Does that make sense? So to me, I would always advocate.
Does that help answer?
Yes, thank you.
President Reese, members of the board, Mr. Thornock, that specifically also entails all institutions receiving public funds. Currently, the Higley Unified School District does go through a thorough auditing process, and so I don't see there would be a lot of change for the Higley Unified School District, but what it would do, it would require some of the other schooling options to have to go through the same auditing process that Higley Unified School District currently does.
I agree completely, and I just want to make sure if we can play on a level playing field, something that we're already doing, I think we'd all support that.
Thank you.
Another one that I would like to submit to ASBA is the repeal any program that gives public funds for private schools, ESAs, and STOs to prevent any future expansion.
Yeah, I totally support that.
I agree. The renew, expand, and improve 301, that's like, I mean, didn't they just, it's done. So
Right.
I'm confused. I guess that was done before this was, after this was printed for us.
Yes, yes. So currently, and Mr. Thornock, did you want to add that as one of our top 5 priorities? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just skip over that regarding the transparency. Is that one you want us to consider?
I would, yes, please.
I would also support that. I think that's the only other one, Madam President, might be the School Facilities Board, and they've never lived up to the promise of funding that they've delivered. So on the top right of page 1 is provide adequate ongoing resources to comply with blah, 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 minimum the school district equipment and facilities are adequately maintained. So that's probably.
That's a good. Mr. Holland, I would like your opinion. Part of what Mrs. Kaler was saying was the 200-day. That's kind of part of an overall one that talks about revising the school finance formula. We know it's archaic. We know it's a mess. We know the funding piece of that. As far as a priority for next year, is that something that you would like us to see, for us to put forward from a funding standpoint? What are your thoughts? I know our funding formulas from the state there's no words for it, but you have to deal with it, so.
President Reese, members of the board, the formula, if you're looking at the regular formula for ADM versus the formula for DAA, the District Additional Assistance. Now that formula, I learned a few months back that actually when it was first established, that was considered a model that was used across the states because of how well it was balanced and how many other funding sources went into place to help stabilize it from year to year. Does that make sense? So until they started making the cuts in 2009, that's kind of when that started to fall apart, basically. The funding for our regular ADM, I guess our biggest concern is just to increase the allocation. I think we have quite a bit that already goes into that formula. You know, I think I've shown you guys before, about this long. So I think it's already has a lot of factors built into it that would keep it stabilized, but unfortunately there's just not enough of it. Does that make sense?
It does. No, I appreciate it. I just wanted to get your opinion on that as from our district, if that is something that we would be wanting the ASBA to pursue. But if it's fully funded, it should be functional, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
One big thing, the restoring the district additional assistance, that is huge. We have to take, to give you an example, our calculation for this year was a little over $5.4 million. Of that, we got $822,000. The state kept the rest. So to meet our capital needs, we had to take $6 million out of our operating budget just to meet those needs. Whereas if we would have had all of the money to begin with, we wouldn't have to take money out of operating just to meet that need. And next year, that need is much greater, so we'll be having to pay more money next year. So that's another reason why it's even more important if they could please restore the DAA.
Well, from what I've heard on the TV, it is.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm just saying. Thank you. I appreciate the clarification. So at this time, we do, it appears, have 5 identified items. That would be to provide additional state funding for nationally competitive salaries, to attract, recruit, and retain talented teachers, to provide adequate ongoing resources to comply with at least the minimum school facility standards to ensure school district equipment and facilities are adequately maintained, to restore district additional assistance, to establish financial and academic transparency for all institutions that accept public funds, and then to repeal any program that gives public funds for private schools, ESAs, and STOs, or prevent any future expansion. Does that sound like our top
That sounds
five
really
priorities?
good to me. I understand what Mr. Glover's saying about the additional items to consider, and I would just add also teacher retirement on that, additional items to consideration. I know that there's a lot of talk that they would like to have maybe more control of their retirement, so I would add that as well onto additional.
Well, and Mr. Gusick, I'm sure, went somewhere else to speak. He's all over the place, but he has worked on a lot of hours on the retirement system and the problems we have there. So, all right, then we will go ahead and put those items forward. All those in favor for those items?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. And I'll get that to you, Mrs. Reach. All right, we'll go on to 8.3. I move that we approve the 2017-18 revised budget number 2.
Second.
Any questions for Mr. Holland on the revised budget?
No, thank you again for all your work. We do read all these things and look over every number, and thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Future agenda items. I did see that we do have a request from Mr. Glover we have on here about the teacher evaluation process as a future agenda item.
President Reese, members of the board, yes, we will have something coming up probably in June on that aspect to take a look at the teacher evaluation system for the district.
Madam President, also in the workshop, I'd appreciate if we had a follow-up in reference to the questions that were raised at our last work study session in reference to the IT. There was a number of questions that the board had, and I'd appreciate it if we had a workshop with that with a follow-up.
Absolutely, we'll get that probably at the same time.
Sure. And also, in July of last year with the accelerated reading program, we had a conversation that with the new program that was coming on board, that there would be a follow-up after that 1 year in reference to where we're going to go, or just even a follow-up in the accelerated reading program. So if we could have a follow-up on that, that would be appreciated too.
All right, anything else that we want to request as a future agenda item? Are we good? Okay, well, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Have a good night.
President Reese, a general reminder that if you would like to see the Higley High School Carnegie Hall kickoff, it starts at 8 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody for coming tonight.